following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Dodge the ground!
Of course! Of course!
So they go herring off into the trades quarter really fast. Sulan is surprised because, like, how on earth did they actually get to the point of lifting? And surely, and they managed to actually get stuff even though I detected the attempt. And then they ran off. Sulan gives chase. Saphiro yells after her something along the lines of, "Come back, so that I may brain thee!" But she is lost in the crowd into the trades quarter. What do?
I'll try to catch them.
I mean,
obviously. So, I'll look for a way of getting higher than them so I can watch them from above.
oh, okay. That's going to require getting up onto a roof somewhere.
It was more like if there's a path.
Like some barrels or something that are just stacked up. Just
Yes.
after, and I don't know that there
You
are.
know,
I
something like that, you
don't
know.
know that there are. There could be.
No, fuck that up. That we'd pick it up to read it and I missed it, so it's a fail. Perception?
No. They're for some reason, they seem really, like, distinctive. They've got, like their hood is pulled back as they're ducking and weaving through the crowd, like shoulder barging people. They drop a few papers, which allows you to continue the trail. Their hood falls back, and you see they've got like very, very dark, sort of screwed down hair. It's like a Mr. Spock style almost.
Have I seen them before?
I don't know, have you?
9.
You are familiar with hair.
The person though.
You're familiar with the concept of people having hair. And this is certainly a hairdo that you have seen on people. Perhaps some Egyptians believe. And you hair off into there, and you can make another check. Scooping up the papers as you go, I presume.
Yep. 13.
You run up some barrels onto a rooftop, casting around. The buildings in this area have tall peaks on them, made of wood, overlapping, set on the stone bases of the trades quarter. Why this is, you don't know. But it isn't easy keeping your footing. And running across the peaks is like running across a rope, requiring, therefore, a tightrope walking check. Now I have to pee, that's good. Just while you look up the results of that.
Not angled up or down greater than 45 degrees.
Well, that would be running up it, wouldn't it?
Ah, it must be, yes. Yeah, it would be. Because we're on a peak, yes.
Just think, oh wow, that's nice.
That's fucking crazy.
Why did I let you have this? Things that help you? No. That doesn't sound like me. Yeah, it would basically be the width of a hand.
Yep.
This ridge.
How wide is the surface?
About the width of a hand.
The hand, which you'd say is between 2 and 6.
Yeah.
Cool. Gives me a -5 penalty, so...
Alright.
Yep.
Oh, you made it.
Yes.
No, running across the rooftops.
Every 60 feet.
You have leaping, right?
No.
Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, because you would have to leap between rooftop and rooftop to follow.
I know.
Like across the street. There's the thing here, and they're going that way. You got to leap.
I got parkour though.
No, you don't.
It's worth a try.
Just lied to me to my face.
Yeah, like it was a believable lie.
Yeah, parkour. That was a word that was commonly used back then when they were making this game.
I know.
And parkour only works if you yell parkour and then do it.
That's French. I wouldn't know French, so.
It's drow.
Oh. Is it drow, is it?
Yeah. Next meme. Yeah, so you need to leap. You need to make a Herculean jump across the street. How big is the street in this little... Oh no! Okay, so if you fall off to the right, you're going to hit the market tents, so you'll be okay. If you fall off to the left, it's ground, son. There's a little green in the middle of the trade quarter area you're in. And again, there's the buildings, there's the other buildings. I'd say there'd be about 5 to 6 meters between them. You got to leap it. Or you could climb down like a little bitch.
Nah, fuck no.
Oh, well, off we go then.
Dex, is it?
Actually, I think it's correct. What's your lowest stat? Con? Actually, I think it is dexterity check, but you don't have leaping, so I'm going to apply a modifier of -1 per meter.
Yep, so it's...
-5 to -6.
Yep.
How specific? That's what you want.
It's only... 9!
So you muff.
No, fuck no, because if it's a negative... Drop shit.
9 minus 6 is 3.
Yep, so...
Does that sound like a good
it's
enough
still a
roll?
success.
Does that sound like a good enough roll for you to leap nimbly between the rooftops?
Still a success.
I think what happens is you leap, but you don't make it. Just grabbing onto the roof with your fingertips and slamming painfully into the wall for a damage. But you're still holding the roof.
And then I get back up.
Okay, pull yourself up then. Strength check.
So I just decided to drop down to the ground and carry on.
Oh, it's like that, huh?
Yep.
Alright, you do that. You thoroughly lost him, though. I think, maybe with some kind of check.
Success. 6.
Oh, it is a success. What happens is your vision just almost makes it and then slams into the wall. You notice some documents on the ground. And you run over and pick them up. In this grassy area that you have fallen into, the ground is sort of firm and grassy and treey, but it is grassy. You could try tracking to see which direction the fleeing person might have gone.
I will, because it'll be just fresh. 9.
Or don't then, whatever.
Tracking is with,
I believe it's int. I could be wrong. Or is it wisdom?
It is wisdom, so it's a success.
Oh, well, yeah. He went that way.
Then I'll head that way.
Heading up towards the gates. What? I suppose there is more quarter that way. Off you run. And it is not long before you run out of tracks at the edge of the grass. Now, it looked like they were heading off sort of towards just past Shadowhearth over to the east some more, west some more.
Yeah.
Just in that general direction into sort of more of the heavier industries, the blacksmiths, the craftsmen, that sort of region.
I'll look for any other things that he's dropped.
Okay, you can do that.
Maybe in the other direction as well. 4.
4, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You and 4.
I know. It's my friend.
Toxic relationship.
Yeah, but at least it's only toxic when I go for damage. For attacks.
You don't think you see anything with a cursory examination.
So I also didn't see anyone. There wasn't any pushing or...
I mean, this time of day is always a bit of a busy crowd and jostling and moving around. It's not quite fully night yet, so...
Yeah. I'll have another quick...
The moon rises up over the
have another look.
You're standing there looking.
Well, if I couldn't see where he went beforehand, I need to find a...
Well, it's kind of like he moved out onto the stone, so the tracks disappear that you can use tracking.
Well, then I'll continue. We'll continue the same direction that I thought he was going,
Right.
until a point where
Crossing the main thoroughfare, off to your left, you see Karroc's throne. Now, having finished being whitewashed and cleaned and everything, it gleams in the evening light. Off to your right, you see the temples and their weird, jagged, uncoordinated skyline. There are some market stalls off to your right, with last-minute hawkers trying desperately to get rid of the last goods of the day so they don't have to absorb the loss. And ahead of you, there's a tannery, there's a small farm of various chickens and sectioned off with pigs. And there's like a small lumber yard where wood is being cut into small logs and other useful boards. And other various mercantile regions. You suddenly remember, hey, you never went back to that woman and told her daughter was
No,
dead.
I knew that.
But the guards would have surely done that.
No.
And that's the layout. The commercial industrial area tends to have lots of little narrow alleyways between their fenced areas, and they're like a crisscrossing warren. It is a popular place for thieves to use themselves. Also off to your left, the imposing wall separating the inner city and the toffs from the lowly peasants on the inside. Guards march firmly onto their new shift of the evening, and wearier, less crisp guards are trudging more wearily back.
So none of the guards are turning and giving chase to anybody.
Doesn't seem that they are.
They probably had an alley beforehand because they would have chased a person that was running.
Yeah, guards are like terriers.
Yeah.
The person is running. That is enough reason to chase them. We can sort everything else out later.
So that would... I would probably head down the first alley, because if they...
The closest first?
Yes, because
Okay.
if the guards haven't seen him, he's probably dived down the first closest alley.
You run into the alleyway, hard-packed dirt and loose scree and slides and scrabbles beneath your feet. You run through it and can make, as you approach the first intersection of 5 different pathways made by fences, and a perception check.
A 5.
Lying in the crossroads is a loose sheet of paper. It's one of the documents you have been robbed of. This one is actually like the clue document that you wanted, or is it?
They'd have to take my quiver.
Oh, well then that happened. Because I got to explain this somehow.
Yeah.
So you are
The
arrowless.
only reason I would be chasing someone.
There is also in the, if you like consider the one you're coming up on, there's that way, like a 5-pointed star, but it's like not quite even. It's like there's more skew off to your right. In the middle one, and the skew off to your right, you see another loose sheet of paper, just sort of like fluttering around and settling.
And then I'll pick it up and carry on.
You charge down that way.
Yep.
The walls get narrower. Eventually you come across a 3-way alleyway. It sounds like there's a blacksmith on the other side of that wall there, like a big yard, multiple anvils ringing. So there's soft, infrequent murmurs that indicate there's a big crew of people not just doing the work, but who need to tell other people to get stuff for them. And off to that side, the sound, an unfamiliar sound, like a... It sounds like wooden things slamming into each other and then pulling back, and like a creaking sound. You don't know what it is.
I can't see where they've
So
gone.
you're in the third one, and there's like a southern one and like a hard west.
Can I use tracking to see if there's a mark which direction they went, because they're probably going at pace and the ground may have been torn up?
Really, it should be trailing, but yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, this is like got loose gravel and scree and that in it, so yeah, it could work.
No.
Bamboozled and perplexed, you don't know which way they would have gone. South and west. Pretty much dead.
Which way heads? Not towards the wall.
Not towards the wall.
Yes, it'd
west.
be west. I'll go west.
You pound off west. Eventually, you come to an 8-way. There is, however, a shred of torn cloth on one of the directions, heading southwest.
And it's a similar cloth to what the
For all you know,
Right, then I'll head down that one.
it isn't long before you realise that this ends in a sort of bulbous dead end. You realise this by getting there. It sort of expands out a bit as you're going along, and then expands out quite a bit, but it's all fenced off. And there is a dead end. Someone has decided to use this area to store a few things. So there is a sort of damp, well-worn, weather-damaged looking crate sort of leaning against a wall, and there's an open, half-destroyed barrel beside it.
I will draw sword
Okay.
because it's a trap.
Don't you just want to kiss these lips?